This collab keeps getting better and better. Grace Wales Bonner. She is someone that belongs in the conversation if you are discussing the best sneaker collaborators in the game right now. Her work with Adidas over the last 3 years has produced some of the most memorable shoes we have seen from the brand, really bridging the gap between high fashion and streetwear. And we now got the latest round of sneakers as part of this partnership, and in this video I'll be reviewing both the Adidas Samba and the Adidas Superstar in the Crocodile leather pack. Before we begin, make sure you are following me on Instagram. I'm dropping content pretty much daily on there, and I do respond to every single one of you who DM me, so make sure you follow me. So this pack of sneakers released officially on October the 24th, and in total there were 5 shoes. Not to mention the very tasteful apparel collection as well, but let's stick with the shoes. We had 2 pairs of the very popular Adidas Sambas, this navy blue pair that I managed to get, and also we had a brown leather one. Also 2 pairs of the Millennium Sambas. Both of them feature this very metallic silver on the front. And finally we had this shoe, the Superstars, which is the first time we have seen Wales Bonner work with this model. Now all of the sneakers in this pack were priced pretty high, especially the Sambas, which went for $300, so I did have some doubts whether or not these would sell out, but they in fact did. Yes, the Sambas, especially in the bigger sizes, did sell out pretty much instantly. In fact, they were very difficult to get. When these dropped, I was actually in Tokyo, Japan. I went to the Adidas flagship store there and I stood in line. I was in fact just the second person in the line. And when the store opened, I asked for a size 11.5 and they told me that they only had up till size 10 in the store. And from everything I've seen, pretty much most of the stores that got this pair only had about 1 to 2 pairs of the bigger sizes. So it turns out these are actually pretty limited. The Superstars and the Millennium Sambas, however, have been very easy to get. They are sitting in pretty much a full size run everywhere. And about the retail price, to be honest, I really wasn't too upset with the price. In fact, I was expecting an even higher price, because if you're getting a sneaker this nice with materials this good, I'm okay with the higher price point, especially considering it's not that far off from what other brands charge you, especially some of the Jordan models, and also if you look at the Made in USA New Balance line. Let's get into the shoes now. Both of these shoes come with a drawstring bag this time, not your Wales Bonner dust bags, which is great if you want to just put your shoes in there and carry them with you. And I'm gonna review the Sambas first. These in hand look phenomenal. In my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful shoes to look at that I've seen this year. You really got to see these in person to appreciate them. Of the 2 colorways that drop, I don't think you could have gone wrong with either one. They were both really nice. I slightly preferred the navy one more. However, I would have preferred if they just gave us a black pair. That would have looked so amazing, I think, with this crocodile leather. But because Wales Bonner has already dropped the black pony hair pairs in the past, I thought that's one of the reasons maybe she went with a different color this time. You can see that crocodile skin leather on the upper there, looking very nice. And the little squares on the leather, they separated by what looks like some light blue lines, so there is a bit of contrast actually on that leather upper. We've seen pony hair before and now crocodile skin. For the next pair of Sambas, I wonder which animal they will choose next. And the leather on this just looks great. It feels great in hand. To me, this doesn't really feel like I bought myself an Adidas product. It feels like I bought a much more higher priced high fashion product here. It feels almost way too luxury to be Adidas. You got the white stripes contrasting against the navy upper, and it is done in leather. And just like with most of the previous Wales Bonner Sambas, you have this white crochet knit pattern on the heel of the shoe. We have these 2 lace holes at the top, which are surrounded in gold, giving this a nice premium look. But really what's really awesome about this shoe has to be the tongue, because I've just never seen a tongue like this before on a pair of Sambas. It seems to have like this woven knit pattern, which is made out of leather, similar to something we see on a high fashion luxury label, something like a Bottega Veneta. And that just looks so good, I think, on this shoe. Also, I think a lot of you guys might be a fan of the shorter tongue on this pair. A lot of the other Wales Bonner pairs had that floppy looking long tongue, which I know some of you guys aren't a big fan of. Also on the tongue, you have this Adidas Wales Bonner branding done in like a metallic glitter, almost like metallic gold glitter. The laces that come with this pair, you get like a whitish cream or like a sail color, and they are waxed laces and they have these golden metallic tips. But if you don't like these laces, they also come with an additional pair done in that brownish burgundy color. And of course you have the nice gum bottoms to round off the shoe. I love me some gum bottoms on Sambas. When I look back, I do think those pony hair Sambas, so this leopard one and also the black ones that dropped, I still think those are the best we've seen so far from this Wales Bonner collaboration. But I think you can make a pretty good argument for these being second, at least tied with maybe the original nylon pairs, those nylon and green pairs. But I would honestly give the slight edge to this one just because of the very unique materials used. This is just a really nice shoe. For me, it does belong in the top 10 sneakers of the year conversation. For sizing on these, now when it comes to Sambas, because I would say I have a slightly wider feet, I always go a half size up in Sambas for the perfect fit. Sambas are very narrow in the midfoot area, so I simply can't go true to size in them. So once again, I went with a half size up in this pair. Just to give you a frame of reference, so Adidas sneakers for me fit very differently. On the Adidas Gazelles, for example, I actually go a half size down. I wear a 10.5 in Gazelles, but an 11.5 in Sambas. In all the Wales Bonner pairs so far, I have gone a half size up. 11.5 fits me best. And I think for most of you out there, you probably will fit best going a half size up as well, unless you have very narrow feet. Now, because of the materials and because I'm really unsure how these type of materials will crease over time, I don't think this is a shoe that I'm gonna want to wear for long days, you know, if I'm gonna be putting in 20,000 steps or something like that. I think I'm gonna save these for some special occasions. But now moving on to the Superstars, which in my opinion is easily the most underrated shoe as part of this entire pack of sneakers. They're easily the most wearable, just a very easy colorway to rock. I recently saw one of my favorite football players, Heung-min's son, rocking these on the sidelines, looking very fly, and that outfit highlighted to me just how versatile these shoes are. It really doesn't matter what you wear on top. You throw these on and they'll go with anything. In pictures, the shoes do appear a lot more white than they are. I would describe it more of like an off-white color, like borderline creamish looking color on the upper here. And this leather here looks super clean. You can see the little squares in the crocodile skin, but there's no other contrasting color in between, like for example on the Sambas, which had like a lighter blue going through the different lines there. Here's just much more of a cleaner look. The stripes this time are interestingly also done in a crocodile leather, and they're done in that same dark navy color that you saw on the Sambas, and they look super clean contrasting against that cream upper. You additionally have some writing on the shoe. You have Wales Bonner on the right pair and Superstar on the left. Of course, these shoes being the Superstars, you get those iconic rubber shell toes. In fact, these shoes have been nicknamed the shell toes for decades. And because this shoe features that crocodile leather, which like I said, I'm not sure really how that's gonna crease. I really don't mind having the shell toes here. You don't really have to worry too much about creasing. On the back of the shoe, you have the Adidas trefoil logo branding and that little panel there on the top that is done in a nubuck material. You once again on the inner lining have that same brownish color that I mentioned, done in a satin finish. The tongue is also done in nubuck, done in like a very light tan color, I would describe it as. And you have this gold Adidas branding, metallic gold branding on the tongue. The laces this time, you get these thick flat style laces done in the same color as the upper, also once again with some gold tips. And if you wanted to add a bit of contrast, you also get these pretty nice navy laces as well. For sizing on these, I gotta be honest, the Superstars aren't one of my favorite fitting shoes because they seem to fit me pretty weird. From a width perspective, true to size for me fits pretty good. My toes don't feel squeezed in. However, I do have quite a bit of heel slippage going true to size. But for me, the problem is when I go a half size down, it does get rid of the heel slippage issue. However, I find the shoes to be a bit too tight now in terms of width. So you're kind of left choosing which one do you prefer. Personally, I think I would just go with my true size, maybe put in a thicker insole to get rid of that heel slippage issue. I do find the Superstars to be just slightly a bit more comfortable than the Sambas. The Sambas definitely feel very flat, very hard, while the Superstars feel less so. I wouldn't call either of these shoes comfy though. We're talking about classic Adidas models here. A lot of you guys might definitely prefer the shape and look of the Superstars much more so than the Sambas or Gazelles. Those two shoes are definitely very slim, and it's part of the current trend of wearing very low profile sneakers. These shoes, the Superstars, are definitely a bit more chunky, chunkier, so a lot of you might prefer that. I don't find these too chunky. I find these actually a perfect middle ground between a low profile and a chunky sneaker. It's just, I think, the perfect size. Overall, I have to say I'm very impressed with this collab. I was very excited to actually receive these shoes, and they lived up to how good they looked in pictures. Like I said, both of these look even better in person. For me personally, because of the prices of these shoes, now the Superstars, I didn't mention the price earlier, but these go for $270, so almost $300. Because of the prices of these shoes, I can't really, you know, right now keep both of them. I had to really choose between one. And because I already have 3 other pairs of Wales Bonner Sambas, I think I'll probably go with the Superstars this time. I also just genuinely very much like this colorway. But do let me know in the comments, what did you guys think about this pack of sneakers? I personally think this Wales Bonner collab just seems to just come out with more and more fresh ideas and just keeps improving every time. So it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best partnerships we have going right now in the sneaker world. And I'm excited to see what's next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, do let me know which of these shoes you prefer. Do not forget to hit me up on Instagram as well. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.